Hey man,
Hey, Eli, how you doing?
I'm good.
We talked several times years
Yes,
ago, and I'm not sure if you remember
I
for
do.
O
Yeah,
Globo newspaper in Rio.
yeah, I remember you.
So how's it going?
It's good. I'm in Bordeaux. Day off. We're on tour, and
Okay.
yeah, just did the first week of the tour, and it's sounding really good.
And when's the tour landing down here in South America?
I hope next year. We're working on it, so I'm been bugging my manager trying to find out when the hell we're going to Brazil because I missed it. It's been too long.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, you're people see you by on the streets in Rio, and you haven't been here in a long time.
I know, 2019. That's way too long.
Yeah, yeah. So I read that you did the record in two parts, part in LA and part in Sweden.
Yes.
How was that?
Um, Totally makes absolute sense because I'm half American and half Swedish. So
Uh,
um, I need to visit my two sides of me, and then you get an album like Become a Light. That's the interesting thing was going to LA because my father was from LA, and I have a lot of family there. And back when I was real young, I was an actor, so I've spent a lot of time there, but I haven't done much music there because I don't find it the most inspiring place. I love places like New York or Rio or Sao Paulo, Paris. I like real cities, and LA to me is like a giant suburb. But I did hook up with Jamie Hartman and Mark Stromer, and then it's just once you get into a room and things happen. So it was really an album that kind of just wrote itself. It just kind of happened. And then back in Stockholm, I have people that I've been working with, and I feel right at home. And then just getting the band in the studio and recording the songs, and then getting it as live as possible because I just wanted to capture that energy that we have on stage and get it into the album.
and do you think you can hear in the songs some LA energy and some Stockholm energy?
It's a very good question. Um, I I don't. I think one thing with me is as long as you got the guitars, bass, and drums and keyboards and my voice, that's me. So that's how you keep it. Because like on my second album, I did half of the album with Rick Rubin in New York, and the other half with the guy who produced my first album, Adam Kliman. And on that album, there's actually the production is very different from the two continents. Um, Rick, the drums are really dry, whereas Adam likes to make them kind of dirty and bigger. But you don't feel it when you listen to the album. It's I thought that the way they work together was really interesting because when I was doing, it, I was like, this how's this going to work together? So with this album, I think there isn't that as much of a contrast between the two sounds. But I think a song like "Chasing Down a Dream" that I wrote with Jamie Hartman uh, is quite large, few more chords than I would normally have maybe in a song. Save Tonight only has four chords. Chasing Down a Dream has a hell of a lot more chords. And so there's more of those kind of things that I notice that's different from having to working with someone else. And Jamie's quite piano driven, so there's a lot of piano which I really wanted to have on this album. Um, but then you have a song like Long Way Home, which I did in Stockholm, and we've mixed it with really, really dry vocal in your face. It's a total opposite of Chasing Down a Dream. But I kind of like that ride. I like the way it kind of grabs your attention. Not that people listen to albums as much as they used to, but you know what I'm talking about.
I do, and I do listen to albums.
Yeah,
And
good.
and it's. Do you think these days about the timing that in between records? Because you have all kinds of politics. People who release singles all the time, people who stay a couple years behind and then release an album. Is that a
Yeah, I
thing?
mean nowadays you really do need to release this basically all the time. I find that like a lot of artists aren't aren't even really focusing on albums. People are just releasing songs all the time.
Yeah.
Um, and I always like want to get an album out as quickly as possible. So like when I did Back on Track, I recorded it coming back from Brazil actually, and was ready to get it out as fast as possible. And then the pandemic and COVID came and ruined that plan. But uh, I've kind of been into the idea of releasing an EP. So actually releasing the album in two halves, because I find, like I was saying, I don't think people really listen as much to entire albums. So I thought maybe, you release 5 songs and they listen to those 5 and then they can get the next 5. But because I have certain territories that still kind of are quite, people even still buy CDs and stuff in those countries, here where I am now in France and stuff. And they really still want me to release albums. So it's kind of been like that.
And that's what you like better also, right? To write the whole
I,
album.
I mean, I love albums, and listening, songs in the key of life and what's going on, and that's I don't think of one song. I think of the album. Um, that's an incredible thing. But I think that if I look at like my daughter and something, I mean, and we bought albums, we went home, we had the lyrics, we put the album on, you lie down on the couch, you read the lyrics, look at the pictures, and listen to the album. So we have a different relationship to music that I don't think the new generation has. It's just that's not really the way. They still listen to music and love it, but they don't have that experience in the same way. So, that's what it is. It is what it is. So we just find ways to make it work.
Yeah. And do you think the industry is better right now with, all the access that people have to everything and with streaming, or you miss the golden age of the album and the CD?
I mean, there's pros and cons. I think there's some great stuff about being able to find music right away. And if I'm in the mood to hear something, I don't need to go and look through all the vinyl. You can just get the songs up right away. And the fact that new bands and artists can get their music out without having to find a record company and convince someone to invest money or whatever, and that you can actually make music on the computer
Put it up.
uh, and release it. So I think there's a lot of great things about it. But my main thing now is just too much music. There's so much music now. It's so hard to find, like I'll discover something that's been around for a long time that I had no idea existed. And I'm like, damn, this is great. Why didn't I not know about this? And that thing of back in the day, I mean, when someone like Michael Jackson released an album, the whole world knew that Michael Jackson was dropping an album. And there was this kind of global focus on certain artists and stuff. Or you would talk about, like, have you checked out so-and-so's new album? And then you always expect and want to find out what other people think of it. So now we have a few, like Taylor Swift's album just dropped, and most everybody knows that and stuff. But it's just different. It's just different.
And not necessarily better or worse.
No, I mean when CDs came, that was a change. When Napster came, or when vinyl first dropped, or no, when radio came, vinyl was before, and then radio came like in the 20s, and
Yeah.
the music business was like, oh, we can't have this. They're going to ruin our business. And then radio was such a big part of the whole thing. So hopefully it'll work out. I'm just happy that I got my foot in the door way before everything turned into this. I really would not want to be a brand new artist today. That would not.
And what format do you listen to music the most? Vinyl?
I mean, no, I do listen a lot to both. I have Spotify and Apple Music, and I do listen a lot on those because it's just convenient, when I'm on the move. And
Yeah.
but we have I have vinyl, but the main thing is the house where I spent a large part of my childhood. I share it with my sister. It's in southern Sweden, in the middle of the woods, an old school, and that house has the best vinyl collection you could ever imagine, because my parents had really good taste in music. And
I was going to ask that about your father's LP collection.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's so much of the stuff that I still listen to is thanks to my parents, but then we've added, because it stopped there somewhere when we moved permanently to the States. But yeah, so that then we all get, so people ask me, like, when you're with your family, do you guys sit around and play music? With it being so many musicians in the family, but what we really do is play vinyl, cook food, and listen to great vinyl, and that's what we do when we have.
That's great. But and do you sometimes bring out the instruments and make some music in the family?
It does happen, but we're not really. We do jam every now and then, but uh, being that we all work so much with music, usually that's not what I'm in the mood for. It's like when I come home from tour, yeah, I need a break from music.
And so you spend most of your time in Sweden.
Yeah, now I'm in Stockholm permanently, and I've had periods where I go back to the States, but they're too crazy right now. I'm not moving back to the States for a long time. They need to get their shit together over there. That country is going crazy.
Yeah, I
Weird.
understand.
Like I always go there several times a year, and now I don't feel it. It's so strange. It's like you've had a relationship with someone, and then suddenly you never want to see them again. It's very, very strange feeling because it's such a big part of who I am.
Kind of sad, right?
It is very sad, and it's heartbreaking, and it's just very, very strange. I mean, when I started touring with my first album, I grew up in New York and Sweden, and then we started touring all around the US. And I've been to like LA, New York, Chicago, San Francisco, but I hadn't been to America. And I was touring, and I suddenly realized, man, I haven't been living in America. I've been living in New York. Uh, And once I really got out there and got to see the country, I understood America a lot more than I even would want. So when Trump started running for president, I really was quite early saying this guy could win. And people were like, what? What are you talking about? Like, no, there's a lot of people out there that are going to go for this. So it is.
It's good that you got to know that, so you don't have to you don't have to learn now, right?
Yeah, no, I wasn't shocked, but very disappointed.
Yeah. So and tell me, you already told me this in other interviews, but tell me again so we can have it in video about your relationship with Brazil. How did that develop?
I mean, first of all, because my father worked a lot with Nana Vasconcelos, percussionist, and he was almost like part of our family. So he was kind of like my uncle. And a lot of these tours that my dad did, where he brought the whole family, it was with Nana. So I had a long relationship with him. He introduced me to Brazilian food, and then my father a lot of Brazilian music. So in the vinyl collection that we talked about, there was a lot of. So I had this love for it, and was always like, can't wait to go to Brazil. I was always planning. It was on my bucket list. And then I get this album that brought me around the world, and we went down and played the Free Jazz Festival, I think it was, with the Roots and Finley Quinn, and that was my first trip to Brazil. Don't remember what year it was, maybe 99, 2000 something. And then of course once I got there, I just the crowds, the vibe at the gigs, the food, the sunshine and the music that's there, and just had such a good time. And then just been going back, and just really, it's just one of those places that I feel so at home. As soon as I get off the airplane, I'm like, I'm back. Just a fantastic place.
And did you get to go to Pernambuco, where Nana was from?
Sorry?
Did you get to go to Nana's state of Pernambuco in northeast Brazil?
Oh no, I never got up there. But I was in Rio, and I was going to do something. I think it was with MTV, and they had a surprise for me, and they hadn't told me, and Nana turned up, and we spent the whole day together, and they had planned this day for us, and they were filming us and whatever. So he came up and on stage with us, and
Oh, that's great.
played Rainbow Wings with us. So that was an incredible moment because my dad had passed away quite recently then, and the title track of my first album, Desireless, was my father's song, and he was very much in my heart throughout that album. So every time we would play Desireless live, I always felt so sad that my dad couldn't come and be a guest on stage and play it with us. So to have Nana come up was kind of like the closest I could get to having my dad with me on stage. Beautiful moment.
That's great.
There with the Brazilian crowd. It was fantastic.
Okay, think our time is up.
Yeah, good to see you again.
Great talking to you as always. Yeah, and now we see each other.
Yes. with modern technology, man.
All right. So we're waiting for you down
All
here in
right, see you
Rio.
next time.
See you.